Hi, I'm Randall here in Texas.
And I'm Matt here in Michigan. Summertime is almost here, so Randall and I decided that we want to take a look at some of our favorite summer movies or summertime classics. And today we're reviewing the 1993 movie, The Sandlot. The Sandlot is one of those movies that is ingrained in pop culture. You might have heard a lot of people say the phrase, "You're killing me, Smalls." And a lot of people probably don't even know that that's from this movie. So, Randall, this classic film, we rewatched it again. We watched it a bunch when we were kids. What do you think of The Sandlot?
Um, I love The Sandlot. Big surprise, I know. One of these days we'll review a movie that I don't think I love, but the thing about it is it takes me back to my childhood while simultaneously taking me back to like the late 50s, early 60s. If the movie's supposed to take place in 1962, you kind of get like a double dose of nostalgia if you're in our age group and you're watching it because you're nostalgic for the movie and your childhood, and at the same time you're nostalgia for watching this thing that's taking place in your parents' childhoods, really. And it's a great watch. It's a fun watch. I love the pace of the movie. It doesn't waste any time. It just gets on with it. It's just this one summer and the biggest pickle that any of these kids have ever been in.
I love it too, like the narrator, looking back at his childhood and stuff. Everything was the biggest that summer. They were the biggest pickle. It was the best summer of his life. One of the big scenes when they get banned from the pool or whatever. It was the most daring thing or whatever any of them had ever seen. Everything was so extreme. It seems like that year, but in a little bit, that's kind of how kids kind of think too. And this is a movie, for kids, for like preteen, teenagers, and like you said, even adults. Our parents at the time, lived in the 60s and stuff. So they were remembering back on what it was like the 60s. And I think it captured, I mean, I didn't live in the 60s, but it definitely
You're
gave
looking
that
great,
look really
Matt.
well.
For
I
your...
know, man. I know, man. A little bit of grays, but, keeping them back for living the 60s. But, the classic cars and stuff, too. That's one thing, like, my parents would always mention, like, when we'd watch this movie, would they mention, like, the classic cars and stuff.
Yeah, there's a scene really early on, or fairly early on, where they throw in an Edsel, which I've never really noticed before. And this last time watching it through, I was like, huh, they threw an Edsel in. So, for some of our viewers who might not have watched this, shame on you. Um, go watch it because it's great. But the basic premise is, so the main character, Smalls is his name, which is where the phrase "You're killing me, Smalls" comes from.
You're killing me, Smalls.
He had just moved into town like 2 weeks before school lets out on his fifth grade year. He has no friends. He doesn't know anyone in the community. He's just moved there because of his stepdad and his mom, and things are obviously not going quite as well as he wanted them to. And then he meets this gang of friends who just love playing baseball. They just play the heck out of the game. As they say in the movie, they don't keep score. No one's ever, out. They don't keep track of anything. They just go out and play baseball. Classic Americana movie. Classic Americana feeling. They just go out and do it. And then one day, they need a ball. Smalls goes and he takes his stepdad's ball, which is signed by Babe Ruth, and he doesn't know who that is because he's not been playing baseball for very long, and he hits it over the fence, and then they have to try and get the ball back from the Beast.
The Beast. It's kind of interesting. The movie does take kind of a turn for that. We don't get that till like later on in the film. The first is all setting up, like you said. Smalls, he's kind of like the bookworm stuff. I mean, even though he's moved into a new town, it seemed like he had a hard time making friends at his old home and stuff too. Because mom is saying like, hey, you stayed inside and played with your stuff by yourself, the last 2 summers. I don't want you to do this year. I want you to make friends. I want you to get in trouble. Like, how many moms give you, permission to get in trouble and stuff too? It's a movie that focuses on the importance of having like camaraderie, having some friends and stuff, and, not just, being by yourself.
Yeah, it's like you kind of mentioned, hit it on the head. It is a feel good movie. Like I can go back and watch this and just be like, everything's gonna be okay. Every little thing's gonna be all right. Don't sue me.
So sue me. No, don't sue me. That's the opposite of the point that I'm trying to make.
I had mentioned earlier I like the pacing. This movie is it's at a very fast clip. They're covering basically not quite 3 months, but like maybe 2 months of this summer. They all meet up, they all get together, you get the camaraderie, you get the pool scene, you get 4th of July, then you finally get the pickle, and then you get a whole bunch of scenes for them trying to retrieve the ball. It's very, very fast paced. So if you walk away and then you come back, you're going to be like, whoa, what happened?
I agree. Pacing's great in this, and I think a lot of people who may not have seen it may have been kind of turned off because maybe they're not into baseball. This isn't really a baseball movie. Baseball is the backdrop, but like we've been saying, it's really about the friendships and stuff, but it has lots of really good, memorable moments. And like you said too, I think that helps with the pacing because we go from one memorable moment to the next. We also have great quotable parts in this movie. You can quote a lot of this, especially one character, Porter, like some of his insults and stuff, some of the most quotable parts of this movie.
Fart sniffer.
You bob for apples in the toilet,
and you like it. Which actually isn't even Porter. That's the other guy.
Yeah, I know.
That
was the kid they're going against. I know.
I don't know. This is just all in a fun movie. There's good characters. They don't try and force anything on you. It's not a huge spectacle film. It's outrageous. And that's the whole point. It's looking back on things with rose-colored glasses. Like you had mentioned earlier, best summer of his life. And this gang, they as they move out, it said at the end, after that summer, we never replaced anyone. So if someone moved away, we just kept playing like they were still there, basically. So it was just like this tight-knit gang of friends, and things all work out in the end, and I super enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend that you go take a look at it. It's aged really, really well. Because even the Beast, like when they show the Beast, the mechanical bits, it's supposed to be ridiculous, It's being told from the point of, someone's memories of their 10-year-old self.
Yep, I totally agree. Totally love this movie. Would recommend, like I said, adults, preteens, teenagers, all the above.
Heck, there's parts, not the whole movie, but there's even parts where my toddler was like, oh, there's Doggy!
Oh, big Doggy.
Big Doggy. So, it's fun. It's great. So if you like these kinds of flashback reviews, obviously we're doing a lot of them as we continue to stay at home and stay safe. Give us a like and give us a subscribe, and make sure to ring the bell icon if you want to know when we upload. And also check us out on Facebook. We will tell you the day before what we plan on uploading the next day. For now, I'm Randall here in Texas. Everyone have a great day.
And I'm Matt here in Michigan. See you guys next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.